just share with you some of the things that, I've learned over the years, and hopefully it can help you kind of take care and take charge of your health and nutrition and everything in between. All right. So, we got some Ohio. I'm actually from Ohio originally. I grew up in Akron, which is kind of funny because that's not where I live now. I left there probably in 1996, actually. So, yeah, turn everything off now. So I would like you guys, if you have a pen and paper handy, we are going to do a little exercise towards the end. So I would like you to just make sure you have that handy, just so we can do that. So welcome. I'm so excited. I was invited here to talk about health and nutrition and how we can help take charge of that and help live better lives. So I'm Angela Tisci, and I've spent the last 20 years walking on people, stabbing them with sharp objects, setting them on fire, and really making magic potions. So that's code for I have been an acupuncturist for 20 years. And I've basically worked with people from all aspects of health. I specialize in women's health mostly, but all aspects of women's health I've worked with. So if you have any questions that come up, we'll have a time at the end where you can ask questions, and feel free to use the chat. I love when people kind of check in there, and if you have things that come up, but we'll have an official Q&A towards the end. So I'm the founder and the CEO of the Women's Leadership Revolution, where wellness, business, and life meet. And I've been a successful acupuncturist and herbalist for 20 years, and I've trained in the science of behavior change, yoga, and women's health. My expertise is really helping women lead healthy, happy, and productive lives. So I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's degree in acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. And I'm also a mastery life coach and business mentor. So I'm going to share my screen so we can get all down into the goods here. All right, let me pull the chat up. All right. So, as I said, I'm the CEO of the Women's Leadership Revolution, and this is where we help you take charge of your health and nutrition, and really just we're going to dive deep into like why we don't do what it is that we say we're going to do. So, as I said, I spend most of my time walking on people, sticking needles in them and setting them on fire, and also making magic potions. So if you really want to change things, I always think about like how we start our day off, right? So most of us, we get up, we maybe take a shower, and we end up, every time we turn around, there's like some other thing we have to do. We go to an event, then maybe we have a meeting, maybe we have a networking opportunity, maybe we have like Zoom calls back to back. There's maybe a wine tasting, a birthday party, a holiday, another long day. We're always like kind of running behind, trying to catch up. So maybe, you might skip lunch, maybe grab something at the drive-thru on the way to meet a client. You eat in the car, maybe you're driving, hoping you don't get any food on your shirt, but it's okay because you really have, an extra set of clothes in the back. And, you've done this a million times. So, you've already got a backup pair of pants back there. And, just in case, you vote on the way back to work, and, maybe you park in the neighboring lot just so you can get in a quick walk before you get to work. You open your computer, you check your emails, you make a list of important people to call, you check Facebook, maybe Instagram. Then, maybe you check the weather app and make sure you have the appropriate clothing. And then, because you might be doing some other, doing a showing later in the day, you feel like kind of a pinball bouncing back and forth, from call to appointment, and just trying not to fall through the drain. You might hit the grocery store on the way home, maybe you sit there for a moment. This is like the only Zen moments that we have, right? So you'll kind of sit there and take a moment, then you'll check Instagram and Facebook one more time, and then you get through your day and just enough time to heat up some leftovers and lunch and then have a glass of wine and finally put your feet up to rest. It's 8:30 and you don't even remember if you drank any water today. You brush your teeth only to go to bed and wake up and do it all over again tomorrow. So maybe it goes something like this. Does this feel like you guys, where you're kind of like running around and you kind of keep going, going, going? It's like we spend a lot of time bouncing back and forth from, doing one thing to doing the next thing to doing the next thing, but we never really spend any time sitting down and relaxing, maybe thinking about, okay, let's like plan out our day a little bit so it doesn't go so chaotic. And then the inevitable, you throw the kids in the mix and then, that comes up. Anybody relate to any of this? Did I get any yeses in there? Anybody know the feeling of getting that pinball back and forth? Well, let me just tell you. So not that long ago, I had 2 successful businesses, 2 kids, a house. I had money in the bank. My debt was paid off. I had everything I could ever want. I was totally set. I was helping people. I was happy, But right when I was feeling at the top of my game, my world came crashing down. I looked away for 1 second and all of what I had become, all of what I thought that I wanted in the past, everything came crashing down. Over the next 3 months, I lost everything. I lost my money, I lost my business, I lost my staff. And all I did was look away for just a moment. My stomach was in knots. I was so full of rage and self-doubt. I thought, what did I do? How could I have let this happen? I saw my dreams just shatter right before my eyes, and all of my strength just drained out of me. I could barely get out of bed. My life as I knew it was over. I kept pushing myself, really just, wanting to get up, but I just kept pushing myself. But my body was so tired and I just felt defeated and like I was going through the motions, living day to day and putting out all the fires, just reacting to whatever was happening. But really, I wanted nothing more than just to free myself from all of it. I felt really stuck. I felt this like I wasn't able to move. I felt like I didn't really deserve all the goodness, that was out there. I felt like, that whole high that I had where I was super successful and then would just kind of shriveled up. It was almost like there was a limit to what I could have and what I could really hold on to. It's like I hold on to it for a little while, but just waiting for that other shoe to drop. Have any of you kind of got to that point where you kind of got to a place where you were super successful and everything was good and you kind of started riding that wave and then all of a sudden the other shoe did drop? So the success that we have, there really is no limit, but in our minds, oftentimes we think that there is a limit. And I felt like that, this limitation that was happening was what I call the upper limit. So this is what we call this upper limit problem. So you've just had a huge win. And this is by Gay Hendricks. I don't know if you've ever read the book, The Big Leap, but this is all about like when you've had this huge win. So let's say you sold a house or you had the biggest year of your life, and then something bad happens, like you get in a car accident, you break your arm, and you fry your computer, you overdrink, you overeat, you overspend, you start a fight with your partner, you get really sick. There's something that happens that stops you from enjoying all of the goodness. It's like, that's it, no more for you. You don't get any more goodness. So this was what happened to me. So after I felt sorry for myself for quite some time, I went deep into the hole and really dove into what I really wanted. And I came to terms about what had happened and decided I wanted things to be different. You see, I didn't want my large practice anymore. I was seeing 30 patients a week. Had multiple associates. I had 2 kids. I was super busy and I didn't really think about what I was doing or plan it. I just did what everybody taught me to do, right? You start a business, you start working, more is better, right? Like this idea that we have to do more, we have to be more, we have to show up more, we have to just constantly be so many things to so many people. So I realized that my disengagement from wanting to do that was because I really I was not giving myself time to breathe. I was not giving myself time to have that spaciousness. That's what I really wanted in my business. So I really lost that fire inside of me that really drove me to success in the first place. And this is a really common thing we see with people. It's like they kind of get to a point where things are really great and things are going good, and then they just kind of lose the momentum. They stop doing those things that got them to be successful in the first place. This is why diets don't work, because people only have so much willpower. And when you finally tap into the deep transformational work that you do and tap into that fire, that's when you can actually get that mojo back, get your motivation back. So here's the thing. I decided I didn't want to live the rest of my life feeling sorry for myself. So I was just going through those motions. But, and the reality is I got complacent, I got comfortable, I stopped progressing. And this is what a lot of people do, where they start to, notice the pounds sneaking on, they start to notice they get into these bad habits, and then they stop progressing towards their goals because they just get this complacency. So we call that like the circle, you kind of stay in your comfort circle, but that's not really where the magic happens. And as soon as you take a step outside of that circle, that big scary step where it's super like, oh my gosh, it's so hard, it might be scary, but it's so worth it. And you are worth it. So I decided to take a step outside of that circle because I decided I wanted more for my life. I wanted more for my family. I wanted more for my clients. And most of all, I'm not a quitter. So I spent the next couple of years diving deep into my own personal development and really taking the time to decide how I wanted to live my life. Now I have a small practice and spend most of the time helping high achievers overcome their own self-sabotage behavior and upper limit problems and finally realize their dreams. So taking care of yourself might feel like you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. So, that first time you go to the gym, that first time you go do any of the, things that you say you're going to do. But the thing is stepping outside of that you're going to screw it up. You're going to like do something because you're going to be, sitting in front of a big buffet and you're going to eat the cake. You're just going to do it because that's what we do. We are irrational. We don't make decisions based on rational thought. We make decisions based on emotion. Emotions are the number one driver that people make decisions on. So this is why people do all of the wrong things, right? So, we do all the things that we shouldn't. We always think like, doctors, we're supposed to, we're told this information over and over again. Yes, don't drink, don't smoke, don't eat crap, try to relax, rest, all of those things. But, doctors think that if we only knew that eating crap and drinking alcohol and smoking was dangerous, that we wouldn't do it, right? But what we do know is that information doesn't work. I have spent years, over 20 years telling patients that they should not do certain things. I've told patients that what they should do. I've told them what to eat. I've given them meal plans. I've given them everything you could possibly imagine, all the tools, but they still come back with the same problems. Do you know that 50% of the people that are on high blood pressure medication stop taking them even though they know they will prevent a stroke? 50%. So that means that no matter how many times we tell people things, they still don't do it. So there must be some other way or some other reason or some other tool that we can use to help make these changes actually last and help them actually make a difference in our lives. So everything you've been told by your doctor and what we tell patients is based on the idea that we behave rationally. But we don't. We make our decisions based on our emotions. We don't always do what is in our long-term best interest. But we can use this information to really change our self-sabotaging behavior. So let's see any guesses out there. How many of you have started a diet, joined the gym, started some sort of exercise program, and not followed through? Seeing some yeses, yes. Right, we've all done it, right? Like, this is the thing. And the truth is, it's not your fault. You know, it's not your fault. Us humans are programmed to not think rationally about our long-term, you know, we don't act upon our long-term goals. You know, we have what we call a present bias. So what this means is that we only make decisions based on what's in front of us. We have a really hard time rationalizing a long-term win. So, you know, this works in every situation too. It's not just about your health and wellness, but also any other thing that you're doing. But we'll take, you know, health and nutrition as the basic one, because that's the one that most people have the experience with. Like, yes, I've started going to the gym and this year you're finally following through. So there must be some other thing. The little wins are usually what people will be successful with. So this present bias, I like to call it the cookie bias, because what it's like, the idea that we just want it now. You know, we just want some thing that is going to give us that immediate result. So, you know, we live in the now. We're really motivated by the cookies. You know, if it's right in front of us, if it's convenient, we're more likely to just eat it or drink it. So it's so much there. This is so much more motivating that the more we really want something in the future, it's like we really have to dive deep. So yes, like weddings, you'll see lots of people like weddings, but there's a deeper emotional impact. You know what, the other thing that's really interesting is people, they have a judgment bias. So they want people to look at them in a certain way. So that can be very motivating for people. So yeah, pictures, anything that's going to be kind of like right there in your face. So it's very effective to hang up a picture of yourself on your refrigerator that has, you know, the perfect body that you really desire, or something that is really motivating for you, because it'll stop you from opening up that refrigerator much more often. So I call this the cookie bias. And this is why diets never work. And yes, if you bring them into your home, you're more likely to eat them. If you're surrounded by them, you're more likely to eat them. So how many of you have ever been, you know, on a diet and someone offers you a luscious looking piece of cake? Or you're in the Pacific Northwest, oh, you're eating chips now, right? See? You're in the Pacific Northwest and you notice a nice double IPA is available to you. We know we shouldn't do it because we know that we'll land on a part of our body that, you know, we know where it will land. So it's not that we don't know better, we just don't do better. So we're going to go through a fun exercise about 5 things that will take you 30 minutes that will save you 30 days of struggling. How does that sound for you guys? Would you like to save 30 days of struggling? So I do have this as a download, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this with you. And then if you want to take it, you can go ahead and go to my website, the womensleadership.revolution.com, and download it. So this is really like, we're going to dive inside of this. So go ahead and grab your piece of paper. And we're going to talk about how to go through this exercise. What do I do with it? Okay, here it is. So what we're really doing is we're doing too much of the wrong things and not enough of the right things. So this is a way that you can kind of filter through what it is that's really important to you and actually have the steps to take it and implement it into your life. So what is the first thing that you want to accomplish today? So go ahead and write down, or you can put it in the comments. What's the first thing that you want to accomplish this week, this month? You can go as far out as 30 days. I wouldn't go further than 30 days, but what is this one thing that you really want to accomplish? Maybe it's you want to lose 10 pounds. Maybe you want to, exercise 3 times a week. Maybe you want to bring in a $10,000 sale. Stop eating sugar. Sleeping on time. Sleep hygiene. All of the things, right? So there's all these like little things that we could do. So think of one thing that you could focus on for the next 30 days or so. So what I want you to do with this thing is I want you to really get clear about what is needed to actually make it happen. So one thing I see people do is really spending too much time doing things that don't serve them. So like, let's say you want to lose, well, I would say, we have like 30 pounds. I would say if it's a 30-day, 10 pounds is probably more realistic. So what you want to do is really make it a realistic goal. And you want to make sure that it's only one thing, because our brain can only handle so much change, right? Like if we start to implement so many things, like if we say, okay, I'm gonna just get healthy, right? It's really hard for us to implement those behavior changes. So think of one thing that's a tangible thing that you could possibly reach that goal. So I want you to say, what does it look like when you've reached that goal? What does it look like after the 30 days? You've done the walk on the weekends every 30 days, every weekend. You've done the exercise. You've eat well for every day in the entire month. What does that look like for you? What would it look like for you to accomplish this in your health? How would it affect other people in your life? How would it affect your relationships to your partner? How would it impact your relationship to your children if you have kids? One thing I hear a lot that people say is kind of, relating to the, you might feel better about yourself, feel sexy, feel in the mood more often, feel better, all of those things. So just take a moment and just feel that for a minute. Like really feel what it would feel like in your body if you were to actually experience this all the time. So we're going to go on the second thing. This is your why. So why do you want this? Why would you even want to lose 10 pounds? Why would you want to have more energy? Why would you want this? Why do you really want to accomplish this thing? Why is it so important to you? Why is it so important that you make this happen? Breathing is not optional. She in the chat, she said, I want to be able to breathe in my pants. Yes, that's a good thing to have. So ask yourself this question several times. Why is it important to make this happen? Why is it important to make this happen? Until you really ask yourself about 7 times deep, and you'll really get to the juicy stuff. Feel better about myself and be healthier, live a longer life. So why is it important to live a longer life? Why is it important to feel better about yourself? Be a good example for my son. Now you're getting somewhere, right? So a little bit deeper. So keep asking yourself, why is it important? Why is it important to take these steps? Why is it important to be healthier? Why is it important to be a good role model? Let's talk about the third thing. So, what gets to happen when you actually accomplish this goal? So, let's say you do lose the weight. Let's say you do get more confident. How will this impact you, your family, your business? What gets to happen for you? You see, it's not only about your relationships, your income, your future self. We may think that we are rational, but the reality is that we're completely driven by these emotions. So the more we tap into these and the more we connect with them, mm, yes, that's a good one. I'm gonna read that one. I did my seventh level why answers the question about exercising every day. I didn't, oh, it slipped up. It says, I didn't survive a deathbed to settle for the same life. Absolutely. So that's it. That's where the juice is, right? So keep asking why it's important until you get to the thing. And usually it's about the seventh to the ninth level in. So, we're really driven by these emotions. We're like that kid in a candy store. We take the road that relieves our present discomfort as quickly as possible and completely disregard what we know to be the logical, rational choice. So, here's where you get to play into those emotions and use them to your advantage. As we have a special advantage in this department as women, because emotions are our superpower. So tap into your emotional drivers and let them guide you to the finish line. Yeah, right. So Natalie, that's great. So she lost 150 pounds and it changed how she presented herself to the world. Instead of hiding in the corner, I started standing up front. Exactly. It gives you that confidence to do the things. And could you imagine like showing up in that way? How, if you have kids, like how they will see you so differently that you actually took the time to take care of yourself? Awesome. So let's talk about the fourth thing. And this one's always a good one for people. What happens if you don't do it? How many of you watched the Queen's Gambit? It's like the best. If you haven't watched it, you have to watch it. It's so good. Oh my gosh, so good. So let's say, in the movie, she kind of goes and keeps playing and keeps playing and keeps playing. But right, you binge watched it. It was amazing. It was so well done. But anyway, I had to put that in there for that. So if you really take the steps to work towards what you want. So let's say you never took those steps. Let's say you don't do anything as of right now. You do nothing and you keep doing what you're doing. What happens? Feel like I do now. No change. Yeah, your kids are worried. Yeah, that's not a good feeling for sure. Stay stagnant, diabetes, failure, self chastisement, failure. Yeah, go down the bad road, right? Yeah, we're so good at putting on these masks and pretending like everything is okay. But what really happens is that, if we don't change, if we don't grow or don't do anything that steps us outside of the comfort zone, we will stay exactly the same. Like it is our duty as people, as women, as leaders to step outside of our comfort zone to show people that it is possible. So take a moment and write down, what are the things that will happen if you don't do anything different and keep on the way you've been living? What do you get to look forward to in your future? Is that what you want? More of the same? So tell me why you eat and drink all the wrong things when you know you shouldn't. Why? Why do we keep doing that, right? It's our cookie bias. So, right? It's easy, it tastes good, it's comfort. Totally. Easy way out. Yep, absolutely. So where's the fifth thing? The fifth thing. So, what has to be true for you to accomplish your goal? So, if you were to really define the criteria that will set you up for inevitable success, what would that look like? So, go ahead and define the tangibles. Like, what really will define the criteria that will set you up for inevitable success? Like, what does that look like? What must you do? What must you do to be successful? Because when it's a must, we'll do it. When it's not a must, we won't do it. But we don't have to go down the bad road to get that must, right? Because having diabetes or being overweight and doing all of these bad habits, you don't have to get your foot cut off to make the change. So commit, plan, execute, decide, make that decision to follow through no matter what. As Tony Robbins would say, burn the boats, right? Point of no return. And then what can you put in place? Accountability partners. Those are great. Noom. Yep. Exactly. And the reason why that works is because people will have that constant reminder and the accountability, because they teach you how the brain works. We are programmed to be completely irrational. So now you have the framework to be successful with changing the behavior. So only you know why you want to do it. And if you find that you are not following through, or you are totally, falling off the wagon really often, then I would guess that your why is not big enough, that you are not tapping into that really, really important thing that is going to really make the difference for you. So, like I said, you can download this on my website, but this is your formula. So you just kind of went through this exercise. This exercise is designed to give you the formula, because the thing is willpower will only take you so far. Willpower is a limited resource, and the statistics are clear that when we are just pushing ourselves and we kind of just keep doing things over and over that aren't working. I know so many people that are like going to the gym on a regular basis and they still are not, having the body that they desire, having the, fitness that they desire. So you have to, and one of the things with that is, the reason is because they're never stepping outside of their comfort zone, because that's where the community comes in. When we have that community, that accountability, some way to really hold us accountable to stepping forward just one more step, right? You can do one more push-up, one more, right? That's where the coaching comes in. That's where having this community, because in the big picture, the brain, it likes this kind of being pushed up the hill versus having to like pull yourself up. It's so much harder. You can't out exercise a bad diet. Absolutely. And here's the thing, success comes from a series of many failures. So learn from those. If you're not failing on a daily basis, then you are probably not trying hard enough. I love this one because I feel like so many people, they just get complacent. And complacency is the death of your health, your business, everything that you've ever created. Complacency will never get you to where you want to go. It may have gotten you holding steady at a certain level or for a certain amount of time, but complacency will be the death of your life and your health and your business if you do not do something about it. So don't be afraid to step outside of the comfort zone. And if you are, know that that's where the magic is. You know, if you think about your comfort zone as this circle, and everything you want is on the outside of that circle. So just taking that leap over the edge to the outside of the circle as often as possible, you exercise that muscle, you know, and then their circle gets a little bigger. You exercise that muscle, your circle gets a little bit bigger, but you still have to consistently stretch yourself and challenge yourself and step outside of that comfort zone, because the magic is all on the outside. So do me a solid and step 1 foot outside of the comfort zone and outside of that circle and do things that scare the crap out of you. No one ever went to their deathbed saying they wish they weren't so courageous. So what's one thing that you guys could do that scares you, that steps out of your comfort zone? Go ahead and make a comment in the comments there. What is the one thing that you could do that is really pushing yourself just a little bit outside of your comfort zone? That post your workout. Yep. Awesome. That's some accountability right there for sure. But you wouldn't believe it. When people post their workouts on social media, what happens? People clap, right? People give you kudos. It's like this huge motivator. Go back to Toastmasters. Awesome. See, you already know what to do. So I could sit here and I could tell you all day long, what are the things you should eat this, you should exercise, you should do all the things, but it doesn't work. You guys know, you guys are smart people. You know, I believe that you guys are smart people. Stop drinking the IPAs. Posted before and after photos with your weight. And here's the thing, you guys, saying no to something means that you're also saying yes to this other thing that you really want, right? Saying no now to those little things, those little cookies that come in your vision, you know, saying no to that is really saying yes to something else. Exactly. It's the best, right? It's so empowering. So you can grab that download at thewomensleadership.revolution.com. And I want to leave you with this, and then we'll do one exercise after this video. But I love this video because it just kind of sums up everything that we kind of talked about. But I'll go ahead and play it. Maybe I'll play it. Here we go.
There's no sound.
Oh, there's no sound. Let's see, how can I make the sound happen?
Stop the share, and then when you see your share screen again, down in the bottom, there's 2 little boxes, and share the sound with that.
2 little boxes. Where's the boxes?
So hit share again. And then down in the bottom, there's 2 little boxes, and one says.
Oh, I see. Got it. Click them both.
Thank you, Claudia.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Here, I'll back it up. Oh. Maybe I shouldn't have clicked that one. Can you hear it now?
We're not seeing anything.
Oh, no, it's not doing it.
It's going around and around.
Oh, around and around. Let's see. I don't know where it went now. I can hear it. Let me see. Let me just pull up the video itself. The other video played just fine, didn't it? Maybe because it's on from a YouTube thing.
The other one had no sound either. It says you're screen sharing, but it's just black. There.
There you go. Let's see what happens. Go play.
Now it's just a white screen.
Oh, it's just white now?
A blank white screen.
Mine feels frozen here. Let me see. Let me try one more thing here. Wonder if I can put it in the
Put it in the chat.
Can I put it in the chat?
I mean, for other.
We won't be able to watch it together.
Later. Yeah.
We won't get to watch it together. Let's see.
But if you all save the chat too, you can make sure to have it for later.
Sure. Yeah. Let's see.
These are roughly 28,835 jelly beans.
Working.
I counted out 500 of them and used those to weigh the rest. In this pile, there's one jelly bean for each day that the average American will live. You might have more beans in your life, or maybe less, but on average, this is the time we have. Here's a single bean. It's your very first day. A special day, but kind of a rough day on everyone involved. Add 364 more and you have the first year of your life. Now, for a sense of scale, here are your first 15 years, 5,475 days, which brings us to the threshold of adulthood. And at that moment, this is...
Well, YouTube is not playing nice with us today. Forget them. Anyway, I'll pop it in the chat. It's actually a really great video, but it shows you kind of how much time you really have left. It's a great one.
Angela, what's the name of it?
It is called The Time. Let me see what it's called here. Hold on. It's called The Time You Have Left in Jelly Beans, I think.
Okay.
The Time You Have Left.
We can find it from that.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good one. Anyway, so the whole point of that one was really like, what do you want to do with this one life that we have? You know, we have this one life, we only have so much time. And when you look at the big picture, there is like half of our life is spent sleeping. Totally. Half of our life is spent sleeping. So I'm going to do this last exercise and I'm going to have you guys, if you want to stand up, you can do this because you'll need just one step in front of you. And this is going to be the last exercise we do, and then we'll do a little Q&A. So if you were the bravest possible version of yourself, what would you do? And if you were this bravest person, what if you did do that? And then what's really preventing you from doing that now? And what would you need? What would you need to feel in order to take action on that? And then I want you to think about, do you know anyone who feels that way? When I have you take a picture of in your mind of this person and let me know when you got one. So go ahead and picture this brave person in your mind. It could be someone you know, it might be someone, you know, famous, it could be anyone. And go ahead and imagine that person somewhere in front of you. And if you would, I'm going to have you go ahead and take a step forward into that person's experience. So go ahead and close your eyes and see the world through their eyes. Breathe with their lungs. Notice any thoughts they're thinking. Notice what thoughts they're thinking when they're feeling the most brave and courageous. Go ahead and imagine that you have a volume button on these feelings, and go ahead and keep turning it up. And keep turning it up. And continue to breathe as this person and turning up that dial, making them brighter, slightly more vivid. And notice that with each breath, that you're able to feel more and more confident. Go ahead and amplify these feelings in your body. So now that you have a direct sense of these feelings, what is it that this person is believing about themselves and the world that allows them to be so courageous and powerful? What are they believing about themselves and the world to have these sort of experiences that makes it possible? Thank you. Now draw a circle on the floor to represent your future. And in the perfect moment, I'm going to ask you to step forward into that circle. Into the perfect amount of time in the future now, when you would already embody the bravest version of who you choose to be. And you'll have already gotten the results and positive outcomes that come from being the bravest version of yourself. Now go ahead and step forward. And breathe in all of those feelings, those beliefs, those thoughts of the bravest version of you. And then I'm going to have you go ahead and turn around and look at the you back there. What do you want that person back there, that old you, what do you want them to know about being this brave, confident person, your future self? Notice how far you've come in such a short period of time. What advice do you have for that slightly younger you back then? What do you want for her? What do you want her to know about becoming the bravest possible version of yourself? Excellent, thank you. So go ahead and take a step back and take these learnings back with you to that slightly younger you. Go ahead and step back to the original spot.
These are magic.
Breathe these learnings.
Where you want to write the color.
Breathe these. Oh,
Hey, you got a new book?
there's a little person talking. So breathe these learnings into your lungs, into your heart, and into your mind, and into your whole body as if it was, is, and always will be true. Now imagine the next time, perhaps even today, when you'll have the opportunity to yes your desire. Notice it's different now that you recognize the bravest version of you. How does it feel? Thank you. You can go ahead and sit back down now that you're all brave and strong, and you can step outside of the circle anytime you want. I'd love to know what has been your favorite thing about our talk today and things that you've learned. Go ahead and post any ahas or takeaways from our conversation today. I'm not alone. I got this. Awesome. It was worth it. I'm capable. Believe in ourselves. Complacency is a death knell. Yep. Tapping into our emotional self. Awesome. You're allowed to let go of the past. Absolutely. Change is never easy. Nope. Life is short. Let's not waste time. Absolutely. Awesome. thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, we have a few minutes left. You can go ahead and just say them. I don't think we have too many people on here, but if you want to ask a question or have any thoughts for me, I'm right here for a few more minutes. Ask for help. That's a good one too. Awesome. You guys are awesome.
I think on the what happens if you don't, one of the things is you're not going to, it's not going to kill you to do it. You know, if I don't do it, yeah, nothing's going to change, but it just means I need to keep going and try again.
Yep. If you're not failing, you're not moving forward, right?
That's right. You can't keep going. You got to just keep trying.
Yep. And also, I think too, like when we have, you know, let's say, you know, people do have like some serious health concerns going on, and to change is hard. To kind of do things differently is hard, but to stay the same is also very hard. So you get to kind of choose your hard, you know, it doesn't matter whether it, you know, neither one is going to be easy. You know, we have this illusion in our minds that if we keep doing the same thing, like somehow it's going to get easier, or if we reach a certain level of success, it's going to get easier. If we do something different, it's going to get easier. It's all the same. It's all hard, you know, but we can reframe hard and just say, hey, you know, it's just stepping through the fire, and then we get to enjoy things. And then we step through the fire again, and then we get to enjoy things. So keep moving forward for sure. Celebrate the accomplishments. Absolutely. It's those little steps forward, step by step, that make the biggest difference. Because there are you know, our cookie self doesn't, you know, is not going to care about the big win at the end. It only cares about the little small things that we do right at that moment. Yeah, Laura?
I realize if me not doing anything, I'm getting older, and we all are, but I'm on the older range of older, and my body will start atrophying. So the image I had was of a rock climber, very muscular, looking at all these cliffs ahead, and it was a he could climb all those. That wasn't intimidating to him. So I realized for me, I could start developing my muscles and do more yoga, keep limber, because if I don't, I could atrophy, get my range of motion smaller and smaller, and my weakness. So that was a really good exercise for me. Thank you.
Awesome. You're most welcome, for sure. Awesome. We just have a couple more minutes. Any other questions you guys have for me? Or thoughts, takeaways, celebrations?
Gratitude. Thank you, Ange.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me, for sure. It's always good fun. So yeah, if you want to reach out to me, you can just, if you opt into the freebie download for the Women's Leadership Revolution, you can just email me on that email. Okay. Oh yeah, thanks, Carrie. Carrie's got it for me. She's my backup, my girl up there. Awesome. You guys are amazing. You guys just show up and do the work. Don't be afraid to step outside of the circle. I really appreciate you showing up today and taking care of yourself this week. I know it's all about, you know, women and health, and you only have this one life. So watch that video. It's amazing. What was it again? It was I think it's in the chat. So
Angela?
Yeah.
Are you taking on new clients?
I am. Yes, I am.
Good to know. My name is Brenda Lee Schlachter.
And she's amazing, Brenda. I'm just saying.
You may be getting an email from me.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. And yeah, I'll send out an email. If you guys download, I can send you out all a little invite if you want to chat. Okay.